Hey guys, what's up? Keelan Martin with Creative New Fitness and Nutrition. I want to explain to you the difference between fat loss and weight loss. All right, there's a lot of misconception about which is which. All right, so America in general, the approach is weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. Okay, well, what is weight loss? Weight loss is actually, I mean, I know it's a silly question, but weight loss is actually where your body decreases in number, in weight. Okay, now when we actually focus on weight loss, the problem is we don't know where the weight is actually coming from. Okay, so when you're referring to weight loss, how do you know it's what? And what I mean by that is you can lose weight in one of three areas, okay? You can drop body water, okay? You can actually drop body fat, and you can actually lose muscle. Okay? So what that looks like is, if you've ever seen someone that's on Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, and say they started a new diet plan or whatever, and let's say a month goes by, and all of a sudden they're real dry in the face, they're real dry looking, they just look really, really deflated. You know, their skin's hanging. You know, they just look like they're going through a miserable time doing this diet, all to the extent of weight loss. Well, the reason why that happens and why they look unhealthy when they lose so much weight so fast is because, you know, they're losing weight, but the problem is they don't know which area that they're actually losing weight in. The biggest one they're actually losing it in is muscle. You know, when you're not really looking at what you're eating, and you're not looking at your protein, fat, and carbohydrates, and you're not really paying attention to your macros, it's very, very possible that you're going to be losing a lot of muscle in a very short amount of time. So it's very detrimental to your health, because actually having healthy, lean muscle plays so many vital parts in your health in general. So that's the reason that they are looking so dry and so you know, and so skinny-ish, you know, when they're actually dropping that much body weight so fast. So there's a big difference between weight loss and fat loss, okay? So when you're actually talking about fat loss, the key thing is to actually retain as much muscle as possible. Okay, so the way you eat, the way you train is centered around holding on to your healthy, lean muscle. Okay, that's the only way that fat loss is really, that's the only way that it happens. Anytime you see a supplement or a specific workout program or anything like that, that just says it will help you, you know, lose body fat. Now, it may play some role, a small role, really, but how do you know what kind of body fat you're losing? A lot of us focus on the epidermal fat that lies between the muscle and the skin. Okay, that's just only one type of fat. All right, so the biggest body fat that we're trying to eliminate here is if you see someone that has a really big midsection, you know, and sometimes they're not the only ones that have this, but what happens is sometimes our organs accumulate a lot of body fat, you know, so which is where, like, our cell, you know, of our body, you know, it absorbs so much nutrients, you know, whether it be from water, whether it be from you know, healthy fats, whether it be from protein. Our cells have these receptors that are actually triggered by our liver. Okay, and so when that happens, these cells are getting nutrients funneled into them. Well, it can only take in so much, guys. So what happens is when you have an overflow of that stuff going in, it doesn't matter if it's good food or bad food. Okay, there is a blockage that happens. There's a cutoff point, okay, to how much the cell can actually take in. So what happens is when that cell hits a cutoff point, you start to accumulate fat on the outer layer of the cell. Okay, so if you have a cell that's, you know, say this big, this is the cell. Okay, when you have that overflow happens, you have fat molecules that attach itself to the scale. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's an organ cell, a muscle cell, whatever it is, fat starts to accumulate and build around it. Okay, so this is where we get gout, fibromyalgia, hypertension. A lot of these things are side effects of accumulated body fat on the cell. Sometimes we have no control over that, given, you know, our DNA or what may happen within our own biochemistry. But for the most part, when we're talking about an unhealthy person, a lot of it's due to just terrible eating, bad eating. And what happens is, if I were to sit on my couch all day and shove food in constantly, then what happens, my muscles would atrophy and my body wouldn't really function as optimal as I want it to. That's the same thing that happens to your cells, guys. So when you actually starting to funnel in too much food, these cells accumulate body fat and their function slows down, okay? And this is where all this weight gain is coming from, okay? That's how we actually put on weight. All right, so the way my program is designed, okay, we want to target, okay, this cellular fat, okay, that's what we're targeting, because when you can actually decrease the fat that is on top of your cells, then everything works as it should. So your body actually becomes a byproduct of what's going on by what we're doing, trying to target the fat that's actually on the cell. Okay, so we really want to optimize our cell function. We want those to be vibrant. We want them to be healthy. We want them to click. We want everything to be on point, guys. So rest assured that, I preach whole food to my clients, okay, and we only put in supplementation where it's needed. All right, so we don't have a diet that's rich in supplementation, but we do put it in where it's needed, okay? So if we're going to maintain healthy, lean muscle, okay, we have to understand all the elements that go into that. So for one, you want to train properly, okay? So if you're going to retain, healthy, lean muscle, you have to train effectively and efficiently, okay? So all you ladies out there that say you don't want to lift weights because you're going to be big and bulky, if you don't touch weights, let me tell you something, you will not get toned. I will tell you that now. Even you look at Beachbody or some of these companies, you have these you have these men or women. Yes, they do group classes, but they also lift weights. So they don't just do the class and you think that's how they develop a body. No, they do the best of both worlds, guys. So you have to train, okay? With weights, all right? So weight training, is a key factor, okay? So if you want to stimulate muscle growth, okay, you have to use weights. Okay, another element that most people leave out when you're trying to drop body fat and retain that lean muscle is you don't drink enough water. Okay, so if your muscles are 75% water, how do you expect to retain muscle or be lean for that matter? Okay, so there are a lot of things that happen, constipation, dry skin, headaches, migraines. A lot of that is due to dehydration, okay? So if you want to optimize your health and build healthy lean muscle, you take this water and you put it right over here into this muscle, okay? This is going to help you stay lean. It's going to help you stay toned. It's also going to help you decrease your body fat and flush out subcutaneous water. That's the water that lays over top of your muscle underneath your skin, okay? So if you want to decrease your body fat and you want to keep healthy lean muscle, drinking water is a must. I tell all my clients, if you're not drinking at least a gallon, shoot for it. And the more you train, the more weight you lift, the easier it is to get that water in there, okay? So I already told you whole food is another one. You want to eat as clean as you possibly can. That does not mean you can't have a cheat meal every now and then. Notice I said cheat meal, not cheat day. That means one day out of the week, you have a meal that you want to eat, and for that meal only. I never tell my clients that they can't have a cheat meal, okay? You ask any one of them, they have a meal that they prefer that I allow them to eat once a week, okay? Now, we don't do cheat days because you will literally set yourself up for failure, okay? So if you can't handle a cheat meal, I just recommend you don't touch one. But if you think a cheat day will keep you on track, have that cheat day, but the other, the rest of the day and the rest of the week, you make sure you stay on point, drinking your water, weight training, okay, and then you want to eat your whole foods, all right? So that is a must. Now, another thing is, if you want to decrease your body fat, you have to also implement cardio, okay? Now, a lot of my clients, they know that as well. Okay, so cardiovascular training, that's very important. Okay, now there are certain guidelines that I give my clients in which you have to sign up in order for me to give you those, but there are certain guidelines, that I ask them to do for cardio. Okay, so that is also going to help speed up that metabolism, okay, and keep that fat burning. Now, we don't just do cardio, okay, now depending on the size and the athletic ability of my client will determine what type of cardio I have them do. Okay, so if they're 400 pounds, 450 pounds, I'm not going to ask them to run sprints, okay, but I will push them to their limit, okay. And so with this cardio, I will give you this tip, okay. We want you to hit your MHR, your max heart rate, okay. That is a given, okay, because you're only going to burn calories for the session that you're training, okay, if you're not doing trying to hit your max heart rate. All right, so This max heart rate will actually put you in a system called EPOC, okay, excess post-oxygen consumption. Okay, that is where it forces your body to try to recover itself by searching for oxygen. Okay, this forces your body to burn calories, okay, for an extended amount of time in order to make your body recover. Okay, later day, later time to finish that off. Okay, but these are just some of the few tips that I give. Okay, when it comes to actually reducing body fat, there's some other elements that I put in there. There are some all natural antioxidant supplements that I put in there to help decrease body fat. But for the most part, these are just the basics, guys. You also want to incorporate sleep. Okay, a lot of you that are working out at at 11 o'clock at night and then getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you're gonna have a hard time dropping body fat, because your hormones, they play a vital part in in helping you decrease body fat and actually increasing your human growth hormone, all these other variables, guys. So I mean, you have to train smart, and of course when you do train, you have to train hard, and then take care of your body. Okay, so there's just a lot of a lot of different things that go on when we're talking about weight loss versus fat loss. So just to clarify, I said a lot, only to say this: fat loss and weight loss are not the same thing. Okay, now if you've heard me categorize it before, that true weight loss is fat loss. Okay, so when you actually work the program like I tell you to, and we actually put forth all the effort, okay, into burning fat, you guys have to really eat yourself into a coma to put that weight back on. Okay, you have to have about 4 or 5 several bad eating days. Okay, you ask anyone who is a physique competitor, bodybuilder, guys, trust me when I say that in order to put on body fat, you have to literally eat yourself in the opposite direction. Okay, so not so much for the person who's lost a lot of muscle. They can have a bad couple of days and water retention shoots up. That scale will jump 8 to 10 pounds, depending on the individual. But most people that do a weight loss program, they don't do a lot of exercise. They diet every day. And then they also they're maybe only working out maybe 2 or 3 days a week. Maybe whatever this scenario is for that individual. Like I said, they're not really focusing on fat loss. Okay, their mission is the number, and that's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. That it's not about the number. It's about the effort and the dedication that you actually put into focusing on the true goal at hand, which is fat loss. Okay, so again, Keelan Martin with Creating Fitness and Nutrition. I thank you guys for tuning in. We will have a part 2 to this because I know I'm going to get questions like I said earlier, but thank you.